Colin Kaepernick has been discussed as an option at quarterback for the Seahawks, the Ravens, and now the Dolphins. On Sunday, Ravens owner Steve Bisciotti said the team talked about signing Kaepernick and that he has spoken to players, to sponsors, and fans about the possibility of bringing Cap to Baltimore. Eagles safety Malcolm Jenkins took it a step further yesterday, saying this is just some other teams being, quite honestly, cowards. To say that they're afraid of backlash to sign someone to make their team better when fans' input has never been in the equation when it comes to signing people in the past, it's certain owners' way of making an example out of Kaepernick to discourage anybody else from doing what he did. Shannon, do you agree with what Jenkins had to say here?
I absolutely agree. But Skip, tell me where you've heard Malcolm Jenkins' terminology before. There was somebody that sits across from you said that very exact thing.
So you think he watches Undisputed?
Oh, he watches, but he has his own
right to heart.
But Skip, I want to read something to you. And you know, when I read a lot and I try to find, especially when I'm coming on this show and I'm talking about certain topics. And this was said probably 30, 40 years ago. It goes, when a white man in the world picks up a gun and says, give me liberty or give me death, the entire white world population applauds. But when a black man says the exact same thing, word for word, he's judged as a criminal by whites and treated as one. And everything is done possible to make an example of him to ensure there won't be any more like him. That's what this was always about. We got to make the punishment so severe that we will deter anybody else from doing such sad acts. Skip, we ask our athletes to be role model. Colin Kaepernick says, I'm going to try this role model thing out. They say, no, don't be that type of role model. Pick another type of role model. Skip, that's what this is about. Since when? I've never heard an owner check with the fans or sponsors about who they should draft or who they should sign. It's his way of saying, I don't really want to pass. I want to pass the buck. Well, we checked with our fan base and they decided that we shouldn't do this. Skip, you know this is ridiculous. This is utterly ridiculous. Everybody keeps saying, well, Cap needs to speak. Cap needs to say whether or not he wants to play. Well, I need these owners to tell us why Colin Kaepernick is not on their team. So if you want him to speak, you speak. Now, even though Dick Cass, who's in the Baltimore Ravens front office, said Colin Kaepernick told him he wants to play. Pete Carroll, they brought him in. Normally, they don't bring guys in, Skip, that doesn't want to play football. Even John Lynch, who's the general manager of the San Francisco 49ers, said in his conversation that he's had with Cap, he wants to play. I thought it was about making your team better. I thought it was about winning. No, let's make some money. Let's try to make our team better. Winning comes at the end. But the dollars, it's always been about that dollar. And it's a shame what they do. Because you mentioned that. Think about it, Skip. You said, I want you to take as much time as you need. Now, this Cuban population, you know how they feel about Fidel Castro. And they will be very outspoken if they were to sign him. That's how blacks feel about this police brutality going on in America.
I got it. I'm with you on that. That's what I tried to tell you when we opened the show. They're feeling as strongly as you're feeling, and you're coming at it from very different directions.
Who do we need to feel that way also? White men.
Okay, this is where you've lost me a little bit. There may be maybe a lot of truth to what you say, but in the end, I still believe, because I've known so many of these owners, most of them are most worried about their bottom line, about their revenue stream. And they feel that signing Colin Kaepernick could threaten said stream because it could cost them some season tickets, some customers, and some consumers who do consume the products of the sponsors that pay a lot of money to advertise with said football team. So for years, NFL fans have accepted there are going to be lawbreakers, there are going to be guys who do really bad things. I went crazy when Jerry Jones wanted to bring in Greg Hardy. I said, don't do it. I'm a longtime Cowboy fan. I'm so offended by this. Don't do it, Jerry. And he did it. Did it cost him any season ticket holders or any revenue stream? I'm going to doubt that because people just accept that's just the way the Cowboys do business for years. They've always had quote unquote outlaws and criminals playing for the Dallas Cowboys. So there's some irony here that I'm going to say what I said yesterday, that I believe a lot of these owners they don't want to lose any money over signing Colin Kaepernick, even though I can make a case they could help them gain money back by winning football games because Colin can win games. But in the end, I think they don't want to lose money, the owners, and I think that a lot of these players, they don't want to put their money where their mouth is either. I'm saying it again. Malcolm Jenkins, Seattle Seahawks, why don't you boycott? Why don't you all band together and risk your checks and boycott until Colin Kaepernick is given a job that he clearly has earned, right?
Yeah.
I don't hear anybody saying that.
Can I ask you a question, Skip? You mentioned this Greg Hardy. The Cowboys are worth $4.2 billion. How much of a hit did Greg Hardy signing go to that $4.2 billion?
I don't think it had any hit.
Ben Roethlisberger with his issues.
I just told you, but NFL fans accept all this law breaking and any morals issues. They do. This is one time, I tried to tell you the other day, Colin Kaepernick inadvertently crossed a line that, if you want to make it white people, there may be some black people involved here too, but a lot of white people just say, if you go anti-American, I'm out. It's as simple as that. So you went into a different category from breaking laws or moral degradation, whatever you want to say. You get it?
I get it, Skip, but what is killing unarmed black men and brown women in this country? What line did that cross?
I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm just telling you what that big segment of the populace who started calling talk shows and writing letters to Steve Bisciotti, and he started to feel threatened, like, I'm going to lose customers over this.
But here's the thing, Skip, if a flag gets tattered, if you have a flag out and the weather hits and it gets tattered, what can you do? You can replace it.
You can.
Tell me the lives that they can get back that's snuffed out by these.
You can't. And it's such a worthy cause, and I still say Colin Kaepernick has had dramatic impact on opening eyes and ears to that cause, and he may be paying.
He absolutely
crusade.
is. And I thought that from the very first day, Skip. They're going to make it tough because they don't ever want anything like this to happen again.
And I'll be interested to see if more players now start to say a little bit more, because this would be the time where they will need to make a statement. But